Hello developers. In this video, we are going to talk about MVVM architecture. So why we choose this topic is because I have took a lot of interviews where candidates are basically lacking in MVVM architecture. Why this problem is basically I figure out that these candidates are working on startup companies. I also have experience in startup companies where I am only the developer for iOS. What happens at that time is we do not get any guidance from a senior developer. So where we make mistakes. Okay. Now when the same candidate comes for an interview, so he make a mistake that is obvious. Let's now talk about MVVM architecture. Okay. So what is MVVM architecture? What architecture do is they generally divide the files in different parts. If you talk about MVVM architecture, right, what it is basically doing, it it also stands for model, view, model, and view, right? So what it doing is it segregate it to the different files, right? Model, view, model, and view. So what this new file do? View model that basically handles the business part. Okay. Now the problem comes like when you have different files or different classes, right? The thing is how you make the communication between these files or these classes. So here comes the thing, or we can say the rules of a MVVM architecture. So from view to the view model, okay, it's tightly coupled, and from view model to view it's loosely coupled. So what is these things? Tightly coupled means when you have two classes, okay, and one class can access all the variables, all the functions of of the another class. Okay, this is tightly coupled. And what is loosely coupled? Loosely coupled is like you can access some variables and some functions of another class. Okay, so this is the difference between tightly coupled and loosely coupled. Okay, now in iOS, how you make a loosely coupled thing? So in iOS, before iOS 13, there is nothing like to observe the model changes or these things. So in that time, we do via closures or a protocols. Now from iOS 13, we have a combined framework. Okay. So in this video, we are going to talk about closures and the protocols only. Okay. So in this video, we are not going to write any code. We will. I have uploaded my MVVM implementation in GitHub. Okay, I will just give a link in the description. So download it and see how MVVM architecture is basically implemented here. Okay, now just let's go to the code. You can see this is our controller. You cannot see here, you do not have any option for a view model, but this is basically our view model. There is a class that is base generic controller. It contains a view model. Okay, it is generic type, so I will provide the definition of a view model. Now you can see this view controller have a view model that is newsfeed view model, and it is tightly coupled. It means I can access all the variables and a function of the view model. Okay. Now I will go to the definition of newsfeed view model. So what this newsfeed view model is doing? So it's basically have this class that is bindable. So I will go to the definition of this bindable class. It's nothing, it's basically a closure. So here we are doing the communication via closures. One extra thing you will notice that this is news feeds repository. In MVVM architecture, we generally do API things, get the data from API or from core data. So we create one file for that. This is called as repository. When I get the data, I will directly set this news.value equals to our data. Now in news view controller, you can see I added a listeners, that is we are observing some data. Okay. Now you will see this, when I get this news, I directly reload this table view. Okay. In this way, we can implement MVVM architecture. Generally, what mistakes candidate do is they directly create the instance of a controller in the ViewModel class and set like this. So this is basically wrong, because the ViewModel will never contain the UI logic, plus it is not loosely coupled. It can access all the variables and the functions of a controller. So that's a wrong thing. We cannot do this in the ViewModel class. Okay. This code is not perfect because it needs a lot of improvements. How, which improvement we need? Like, this is not a testable code. Okay. Because we need some mocks for that, we need dependency injections. We will try to cover these topics in our next video. If you want me to create a new video for like how we can write the testable code so that we can write the unit test cases, comment in the chat. I will make a new video for the implementation for the same. If you like the video, please like, comment and subscribe our channel, and happy coding. Thank you.